Today on the show, you'll meet a young entrepreneur who is using her skills to create global impact. She is working with students and adults with disabilities, and we have an opportunity to help them create their own unique entrepreneurial journeys. Expert Connections starts now. Welcome to Expert Connections. I'm Julie Holton Smith. Today we are joined by an entrepreneur, and I'm so excited because this is going to put a couple of our segments together on entrepreneurship, nonprofit, community building. This is an entrepreneur who has taken her passion and her skills far beyond the typical business setting. She is traveling the world, volunteering her time, and today she's going to tell us about a really unique opportunity. Join me in welcoming Victoria Levinsohn to the show.
Hi.
Victoria, I'm so glad to have you here. Victoria is a part of our team at Connections marketing agency among her own endeavors that she has. And Victoria, one of the things that I find most fascinating about you is you're living this nomad life, this digital nomad life. You are essentially building a business, you are working in marketing, and you are traveling the world at the same time. Except there's a unique twist to this. You're not just visiting exotic places, you're visiting places and at times volunteering your time. Tell us first about what has inspired you to travel the world and to spend time volunteering.
Totally. It's been about a year and a half now, or almost 2 years maybe, of traveling and working and volunteering like this. It's a bit chaotic, I will admit. I think it's one of those things that looks very glamorous from the outside to a lot of people. And a lot of times it is the whole, oh, you can work online and go anywhere you want. And that's been amazing. But I don't think I would love it so much unless without doing the volunteer work that I've been doing. That's kind of the best part of all of it for me. The reason I chose to do that in the beginning was because I previously was working very hands-on in person in hospitality, and I love that. I love working with people, but I wanted to transition and try out the remote work lifestyle. But I knew that if I was just on my computer all the time, I wouldn't even be able to enjoy traveling. I would just, I think, go really crazy. So the part-time remote work, part-time in-person volunteering method has been a way that I can travel. I do exchange programs. So the volunteer work is in exchange for accommodations or something along those lines. And then I also get to get really plugged into the communities that I'm visiting and learn more about the culture, whether it's more language practice or just learning about how they live life there and get to know people better. And then it allows me also to travel a lot more slowly, which I love. I love getting to just stay somewhere for at least a month and meet people, become a part of the community, and then serve in some way. Often, like I said, in an exchange format. And then the rest of my time is online type of work.
I know most recently you were in Guatemala. Guatemala. Quick rapid fire. What are some of the places you've been in the last almost 2 years?
Quite a few fun spots all over the board. Last year, there was Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Spain, Albania, North Macedonia, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ireland, and then starting out this year was El Salvador, and then Guatemala, and pretty soon back to Bosnia.
Okay, so let's talk about Bosnia and Herzegovina. So that is where you're going to be returning, and I believe this is the first time you're going back to a place that you visited instead of just a one time. So something in
Mhm.
Bosnia really inspired you. Tell us about this school where you volunteered.
Yeah. So when I was there, I was connected to this school that is set up in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's a city a couple hours away from the capital of Sarajevo. A lot of people may or may not know of it. It's one of those places where every time I talk to someone, they're either like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of it. I like seems so amazing," and other people have no idea what it is or where it is. So it's a smaller city, but there's still a lot going on there. And there's this really wonderful school that was set up to serve students with pretty severe disabilities. So they have an elementary school up, like serving kids of all ages, really. And they have it really, really beautifully organized. They pay super close attention. Each student, there's maybe 2 children per class per teacher. They have a really small ratio so that they can serve them to the best of their abilities. And then they also have an adult daycare center for adults with disabilities, because there's really not a ton of resources in the country for disabled people. And this is one of the very few places where they serve them with so much love and compassion, and just they really just want them to succeed and be happy, and empower them to do things themselves that otherwise they may not have the ability to. And so they have a few things that they're doing with the adults. When I was there this last time, I got the chance to meet more of the adults in the program and kind of just spend some time with them. I don't do that much for them aside from spend some time there, and I did some video work for them and created some content that they could use and share with sponsors and things that support the nonprofit. But I just got to spend time with them, and they're just such wonderful people. And they have a kitchen, so the adults help cook and serve the younger students. And then they've also done like catering, like a small side business sort of, where the adults get to help in the kitchen and they serve, and any money that they make goes back to their own program. So it's empowering them to work when they probably can't get these opportunities on their own. And then they also have these artistic workshops where they do woodworking, painting. They make these really beautiful pieces of art, these like magnets with their own designs, and some of it gets reproduced. They were donated at one point a 3D printer, and like a big one. I don't even know if it's called a 3D printer, but one of those things that engraves. Yeah, it's a 3D printer. So they can reproduce a lot of the designs, and then the students paint them and they can sell them in local shops or to people that are visiting, like me. I would buy some and take it home, and I know other people love doing that as well. It's really beautiful stuff. And so they get to create, use their hands, be immersed in that kind of artistic setting, and use that as a means of supporting themselves.
And this speaks right to my heart. I have a 17-year-old, so a stepson who's right on the verge of adulthood, and and there comes a time when you're exploring what is the purpose of life. He's going through that a lot himself right now, and he has a number of disabilities. And so looking at how to empower the disabled community and really combine what you're talking about, the education components, along with living with independent life skills, and this passion for creating, and this entrepreneurial edge, which really helps to fund all of this. So you have a special project. You will be returning in a very short amount of time, and the clock is ticking. I think you leave in a week or so, 2 weeks, to go back to Bosnia. And this time you are going to be conducting some special events. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when I go back, I'll go for a couple of weeks, and then my mom is going to be joining me. She's a florist. She's been designing weddings for a really long time, and in Michigan and California, kind of all over. She is really good at that kind of thing, and she's going to come help me lead and teach these floral workshops at the school. It's for the adults, the adult center, just to kind of see if we can help add another layer of enjoyment and a new craft for them to engage in. And then I think also it's really just they don't need us to do this necessarily. They're doing really well, and they keep expanding their program as is. So I don't think of it as me filling in some total gap. It's just kind of an opportunity that I see to maybe add a little extra value and just show them that we really care enough to come back, really. If nothing else, I'm hoping, I remember them. I think some of them will remember me, and the idea of, oh, this person cares enough about us to come see us again from all the way across the world. I want to show that to them, that type of of love and care, and use the flowers as a way to kind of bridge whatever gap there still might be, whether it's language or just misunderstanding of any sort. Be able to share that language of flowers and see what comes of it. And then if they are able to add that in as another thing that they sell to the public or just get to embrace for fun, I think being able to touch the flowers, use nature as artwork is really fulfilling no matter who you are. So I hope that that'll be really enjoyable for all of them.
And I recently got to kind of try out one of these workshops that you and your mom, Rachel, will be leading. And by the way, I don't let anyone come on this show and kind of downplay their skill sets or what they're bringing to this community. This is, I mean, you can see in these photos we're sharing from a recent fundraiser that just how talented and how beautiful. I mean, we created wreaths that you can buy at the store, and anyone
Mhm.
who's ever bought a wreath can know they can be a couple $100s even. And so to take something that, you had shared with me that those at the school were not necessarily familiar with flowers, whether
Mhm.
they're silk artificial flowers or flowers that are grown in the region there. And so introducing flowers, introducing this concept of a new type of art, new type of creativity for them is something that will be at the very least fun, and
Mhm.
but with the intention of helping them to grow. Now, Victoria, you're doing this on your own. You're funding all of the costs. So essentially all of the materials, all of the supplies, the travel, your time. But I know that there's a way that people can support these efforts. Tell us about your fundraiser.
Yeah, I did start. I wasn't even thinking about this for a while. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I want to go back and do these events and see what happens. And then all of a sudden I was thinking, yeah, it's gonna kind of cost a lot to get all the materials and make sure we have enough for all of them, enough flowers and enough, whether it's we use wire, cutters, scissors, ribbons, different artificial and fresh flowers. We'll find them all at the markets there. I'm excited to be able to go explore when I'm there early and see where we can get different types of flowers, what's in season. But yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I was kind of neglecting that part of it, of the financial component, because that just exists with everything. A lot of what I've been doing is just kind of go where the wind takes me, do what makes sense. And this feels like one of those things that just makes sense. But I've never done something like this before that carries a much bigger, yeah, just the financial implication of it. And I'm happy to help support it and give what I need to fill in the gaps, and my family as well, I know will support it. But yeah, any help that we can get with the fundraiser that I did put together, it all came together kind of last minute. So the event we did the other day with the wreath making was incredible. Everyone who came it was so lovely to have all of you guys and see the beautiful work you created and get some support that way. But yeah, so I did create a link to just a general fundraiser. It has some more information about the program, the classes we're going to teach, and what the money goes towards. So if anyone feels inclined to donate to that or just wants to get connected with me and learn more about what we're doing, the programs, and what's involved, I would be super grateful for any financial support or otherwise.
And we will link to that for sure below, so people can learn about this program, learn about how they can support you, and also learn about your other endeavors. Because my last question here, Victoria, oftentimes on this show, which you know so well from being on our team and seeing these interviews and talking with founders, oftentimes a lot of founders are heads down. They are, and rightly so. They've got a vision, they're passionate, they're working on their project. And so much of their world is, in that tunnel vision of seeing whatever it is they're working on through. You have this different approach because you are working on a number of entrepreneurial endeavors and quite successfully. And you are also spending time volunteering and connecting with other cultures and community. What value does that bring to you in your entrepreneurial journey?
That is such a good question. I think it's like the single most valuable thing to me is this combination of the entrepreneurship and the global perspective. Like you said, I think I'm very different from most founders or entrepreneurs who are really in the grind all the time, deep in it, because I think my biggest goal is to make sure that I stay a little bit, I don't know exactly how to say this, like floating right above it a little bit all the time. I love to just spend time outside or out in the world, whatever that is. And I think that's what fulfills me most and kind of gives me the energy to pour things back into my work. And the part-time nature also of what I do, I'm working remotely, yeah, I would say maybe half the time, and then half the time is the volunteer work. But I think even if I were working full time, like really deep in it like this, I don't think I would be as inspired or as motivated as I am because I'm seeing new things, exploring new things, learning new things, and then all the time finding these random ways to support global entrepreneurship in really small scales. All the people and businesses I work with abroad are basically families or schools like this one, or like a small boutique hotel or cafe, just people I meet along the way, that end up asking for help or advice or insight on whether it's marketing things or business things. And that has been one of the most, I think, the most fulfilling part, being able to see, okay, even though I really only work in the traditional sense part-time, my work carries over a lot into the fun that I'm having while I travel as well.
Victoria, thank you for sharing your story, a little dose of inspiration today for all of the entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders who tune in. Can't wait to share your story once you are over in Bosnia and Herzegovina and sharing your talents with the folks there. Look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you for having me and for sharing.
That is all for this episode of Expert Connections. We will link to all of Victoria's information below, so make sure to look on YouTube for that, and we will see you over in the next video.